This is Masterful Chats, and I'm Rebecca. I'd like to say hello and welcome back to all of my wonderful subscribers, and hello and welcome to all of those of you who are viewing me for the very first time. Masterful Chats are short, clear, concise, clarifying conversations designed to uplift, empower, inspire, and support you as you move forward along your spiritual path and in your life's journey. And today's chat is about knowing who to trust, part 2. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself for those of you who are viewing me for the very first time. I am an information synthesizer and a mystical scholar, and I know with my entire heart and whole being that each one of us is a beloved child of the Creator. We are known individually, and we are loved completely, totally, and beyond measure. And moving forward in conjunction with last week's Masterful Chat, Courage Over Comfort, which this channel has been a lesson in that with every week and every podcast. Harry saying hello. Or rather, Henry saying hello. I got a little confused. So, back to Courage Over Comfort. I'm an introvert, and this channel has been a labor of love for me. It's been challenging on so many levels, but I know that this is what I'm being called to do. And even though some days I'm shaky and a little bit afraid, I persevere. And so there will be some new changes coming to the channel in 2024. By the end of the first quarter, I will have a Masterful Chats website launched, and there will be opportunities for those of you out there who want to book private chats with Rebecca. And we're also going to be doing live chat. So I would appreciate input from those of you who are subscribed from the channel as to what time you could be most available for watching a live chat, where we discuss whatever we want to discuss. Because as I said in the first video that I started way back the first quarter of last year, was everything spiritual. And I would love to get to know each one of you better, and I would love to get to know you one-on-one. So that's what I'm doing in 2024 to practice courage over comfort. And I would like to take a moment to wish you all a Happy New Year, and to say thank you for however you choose to support the channel by viewing, liking, sharing, subscribing. I truly appreciate you. And also in 2024, there will be an opportunity for you to donate to the channel via PayPal if you choose to do so, just to help me a little bit financially with technology and outsourcing some of the tasks. But however you choose to support me, I am truly, truly grateful. And I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. So now, let's chat about knowing who to trust, part 2. Part 1, in terms of knowing who to trust as we move forward in this ascension, and just in life in general, was based on qualities and characteristics of people that you're in relationship with, personally and professionally, spiritually, in community organizations, volunteer-wise. But the second part is equally important. The most important person learning how to trust is yourself. And for some of us, for many of us, that has been a very long, enduring, and at times challenging path. To listen to that inner guidance, to trust that inner guidance, to know when that inner guidance is in a reaction mode, and we may do something that may not be in our highest and greatest good, or if that inner guidance that we're sensing is tested and tried and true, as if one friend of mine says, to go with the gut, and to trust that feeling, that impulse, and to know that it is in your highest and greatest good. In trusting yourself, you need to have the belief that the decisions you're making are in your highest and greatest good. And some of those decisions may challenge us, may break our heart, may propel us from a life that we knew into a life that is filled with uncertainty and change. Sometimes we need to follow that gut, that instinct, that calling to become our biggest and better selves and to follow our life plan and our life blueprint. And if we're choosing to leave a relationship that is not in our highest and greatest good, on whatever level and in whatever arena that is, it is a true act of power, far greater than staying. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself, and trusting yourself, being a parent to yourself when you need it, taking care of that inner child that needs attention, knowing that you are a sovereign individual and that you can make decisions in your best interest that are appropriate for your well-being and growth. And sometimes on the road to trusting ourselves, we may make decisions that are not in our highest and greatest good. We may be involved with people that are not in integrity. But recognizing that we have made those decisions at times and being forgiving of ourselves and others, we can move forward and we can realize that we can always choose again. So if you're having challenges in trusting yourself, in believing what you're sensing internally, take it one baby step at a time. Try a small decision out and see how that works out. And bit by bit, step by step, decision by decision, you'll know. You'll learn how to trust yourself. We have the 5 senses in our physical well-being, but there are other, shall we say, energetic methods of communication that many of us either have that we're aware of, or some of us have and we're not aware of yet. And 3 of the biggest are clairaudience, which is you may hear things, and I'm not talking about from a psychotic breakup, you're hearing voices that are demeaning or mean or whatever, but you hear things that are spoken to you from another realm. Another form is clairvoyance, where you may be able to see things either that are occurring right now or that may occur in the future. And the third one is clairsentience, and that is a feeling and a perception of energy and things that may come. That is my greatest sensory ability that I have. I perceive energy. I perceive movement on many, many different levels. And that is how I know in my own life when I'm meant to move ahead with a thought or an action or idea that I've had. And sometimes I may sit on that for years. Sometimes it's a few days. But I wait for that feeling, and then I know it's time to go ahead. So you might want to think back into your own life and how you are given information that is not necessarily on the physical plane. For example, I'm sure many of you have thought of a friend, oh, I need to call them, I need to do this, and that day or afternoon or in a couple days, they call. Because we are all connected energetically. We are all connected telepathically. And so there is a transference between us. So I would be interested in hearing your comments on what types of spiritual, energetic methods of communication that you find most beneficial or where you have had the most experience. In determining who you can trust, there are 3 areas that I would recommend. One is using your discernment. The second is looking at the filters, not only yours, but of the person that you're either listening to or involved with. And the third is what is being transmitted, the information, and how is it being transmitted? Is it based in love or is it based in fear? So let's unpack the first one. Discernment is a key tool when you're listening to another individual or an organization. Do not take anyone at face value, myself included. What I am imparting to you on this channel is what I have read, what I have studied, my experience, but it's mine and it comes through my filters. And I would like to think that I am fairly clear, but we all have filters. You cannot be raised in this physical plane and not have filters. And so to be discerning and to be a critical thinker, as well as knowing what you are feeling in your heart and your body regarding how the information is delivered and what the message is, are critical factors in knowing who you can trust. So you need to be discerning. What are they saying? What are you feeling? What are you hearing? That's one. Number two, regarding filters. Every person has filters. Where they were raised, their family's socioeconomic status. Were they raised in a religion with a lot of dogma and rules and control or not? All these play into how we evolve and how we perceive the world, and that is what a filter is. Now, some filters come from direct experience. There was a woman in my book club who was mauled by dogs when she was 3. And at my book club, there's a wonderful big Great Dane, the biggest baby on the planet. And this woman handled it beautifully, but she was literally terrified. And that is a filter from direct experience that will be with her for the rest of her life. So filters can come from direct experience, both limiting as well as expanding. So when we are listening to a person or an entity, or we're in a situation, it's important that we recognize what our filters are and what the other person's filters might be. It requires a lot of self-awareness and accountability. But everyone in this world is operating through their own filters. It's important to know that, to recognize it, and to use it every day as we interact with people and institutions. And the third component, while you're dealing with people and in relationship, or getting information via the internet or news, once again, I would like to remind you that there are only 2 primary emotions that drive mankind, and that is love versus fear. And if someone is giving you a message telling you to be very, very afraid, if they're giving you a message to hate someone else, I would really stand back and question that person's motivation and their filters. Because we are not born to hate. We are only born to be in love and to find joy. And that is the bottom line. And in listening to people on the internet, especially at this time of year or on YouTube, you're going to hear a lot of predictions and prophecies. Be very astute as to the message that you are hearing. There are many people out there who are brilliant. They may be brilliant philosophers or astrologers or salesmen or podcasters, but they have filters as well. So you can have people that are very, very gifted in some areas, but that does not mean that they know everything. And all of us receive information through our filters. So please be very, very aware. If a person or group is giving you information, or you're picking up energetics that are upsetting you, or you're off balance, or if you're given a message of us against them, stand back, please. Look at the source. Be discerning. Ask yourself, what are the filters that they're looking through? And ask yourself, what are you receiving through your filters? And the third thing, ask yourself, is the message based in fear or is it based in love? 2024 is going to be a loud, noisy year. People are going to be vying for your attention and for your energy. And for you to walk through this massive change as we move from the third dimension into the fifth dimension, and to be in a state of well-being and grace and ease. Once again, I remind you to please follow the joy, follow the love, follow the laughter in your life. Be discerning. Practice detachment. Focus on what you can control, not on what you can't. Focus on what you choose to create in your life, not on what you don't want. And if you do that, you'll do just fine. We'll all do just fine. But please take care of yourself in 2024. Be discerning. And in that, you will be able to trust yourself and to know who you can trust in business, in relationships, and throughout the digital world. Thank you for being with me in this Masterful Chat and for supporting this channel in any way that you choose to. I truly appreciate you. And until we chat again, wherever you're at in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Blessings.